Pictures they make these days are all MTV. Cut, 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 cut. The opening shot of Wells's Touch of Evil was 6.5 minutes long.
6.5 minutes, Walter?
3 or 4 anyway. He set up the whole picture with that one tracking shot. Godfather was key grip on that shoot.
Hey, what about Absolute Beginners, man? That was an extraordinary shot.
What the hell was that? Never heard of it.
Welcome to Now You See It. Aren't long takes awesome? I'm talking about the huge ones, the masterpieces, where all the technical camera work, special effects, and carefully choreographed movement pushes the boundaries of cinema as an art form and leaves us thinking, holy shit. If you want to read more about how awesome they are, I recommend these 3 articles, or even these 10. How about 25? What I'm saying is we're all well aware of how long takes work. They dazzle, they entertain, they push film to its limits. But I want to make a quick video essay that explores one way long takes might be limited in their storytelling abilities. To start, let's hear from someone familiar who doesn't like long takes.
I don't know why I really indulged in the stunt, I can only call it a stunt, in Rope.
Rope was Hitchcock's attempt at a movie taking place in real time in one long take. Originally a play, Hitchcock kept every action and reaction in the frame and let the camera roll. Cameras at the time could only film 20 minutes per reel, so he had to hide cuts in between scenes when he needed to.
What are you worrying about, Philip? After all,
the result is something Hitchcock didn't think was all that great. He comments on what it was missing in a French interview with Truffaut, which explains the French translator in the background.
When I look back, of course, it's quite nonsensical, really, because I was breaking all my own tradition of using film and the cutting of film to tell a story. A lot of people think that cutting is, or we'll say montage or assembly, is taking a man from one place to another and jumping into a close-up of him, which Griffith invented, it's true. But to me, it goes much deeper.
So that's what long takes can miss, editing. In many ways, Hitchcock was simply filming a play. But even with something originally a play, you can use editing to tell a story. And Hitchcock thinks editing is a strong storytelling device that was missing with his movie. How could Rope have used editing to tell its story? 12 Angry Men, originally a teleplay and then a stage play, also has a limited set and heavy dialogue. But the editing tells us everything, unlike Rope, which has no editing. The beginning shots are wide and comfortable. There's actually a 6-minute long take in the beginning where conversation is light and everyone looks at ease. In the early scenes, most of the dialogue features multiple people, the takes are relatively long, and shots of single people aren't too close. As the movie progresses, intense scenes have super close-ups of characters and the edits are much quicker. By allowing the camera to cut quickly from close-up to close-up, editing showcases the intensity of the scene.
What do you want? I say he's guilty.
Not to mention the eerie overhead lighting, the performances, and the rain in the background. The cuts are very important here, to quickly and efficiently move from the action to the reaction, as opposed to a long take, where the camera has to either whip around or we see action and reaction at the same time, which gives them both equal weight to the viewer. But that's not to say filmmakers can't direct our eyes without using cuts. On the contrary, directors guide our eyes with the right lighting, camera movement, and frame composition. The University of Edinburgh developed visual tools that track eye movement, so they can show people a movie clip and track what they look at. In this scene in There Will Be Blood, the person talking is important to the viewer according to where they're looking, but eye movement also shifts when someone moves to smoke a cigarette or starts leaving the frame. There's lots of ways to direct the eye, like what's in focus, where everybody is looking, lights, and geometry. You may not notice it consciously, but directors are telling you where to look, especially in flashy long takes. The long battle scene in The Revenant is chaos, but it's directed chaos. You look from one person to another or at that specific arrow whizzing past the camera. But according to Hitchcock, a long take just can't beat the intensity, speed, and storytelling power of an effective cut.
Cutting implies severing something. It really should be called assembly.
When clips are assembled together through editing, they create a new story for the viewer. If you cut from one clip to another, your mind associates the clips with each other and creates the idea. Of course, the classic example is the Psycho shower scene, but it works in a variety of movies. In The Godfather, Coppola cuts from the spiritual cleansing of Michael's son through baptism to the violent cleansing of mafia leaders. One cleanses with holy water, the other with blood.
his works?
You could write a book on what this editing choice means in the context of the film, but one thing is very clear. The editing is what establishes this symbolic connection, and a long take just doesn't have the ability to thematically associate two different ideas in a way as effective as these edits.
Montage means the assembly of pieces of film, which, moved in rapid succession before the eye, create an idea.
I love long takes. Anybody can appreciate them for how beautiful they are, but they are limited in their storytelling power. They give us more choices in what to look at compared to cutting from face to face or object to object. This has its advantages. With more to look at, we can be more overwhelmed, more taken aback, more amazed. But a cut forcing us to look at one thing, that can be intense and has the kind of emphasis a big shot doesn't have. So sometimes an edit works, sometimes a long take works. It just depends on how you look at it.
Look, what's the difference how long it takes? Suppose we do it in 5 minutes, so what?
Let's take an hour. Ball game doesn't start till 8 o'clock.
If you wish this video was longer, you're in luck, because All Time Movies has a great video that focuses on how directors pull off these intricate long takes, and sometimes long takes are hidden in plain sight. Watch Tony Zhao's video on the Spielberg Oneer to learn more about that. Both these videos are in the description. Thanks for watching.